What's up, everybody? I'm Jeffrey Esser. Welcome back to the channel. This is Jeff S. CFB. Today we'll be talking about Texas Longhorns. And is Texas going to be back this season? We'll talk about Steve Sarkisian now in his second year, some key additions in this offseason, what I think they will be doing this season, some key losses for them, and so on. If you didn't check out the last video, please go do so. Talked about Jordan Addison committing to USC, the big offseason that Lincoln Riley has had. And honestly, I thought Jordan Addison was going to go to Texas. So with that being said, we're going to hop right into it. Texas currently ranks number 6 in the transfer portal. They play Alabama September 10th, week 2. I think they are competitive in that game, but I honestly think they lose that game. That's one of the losses I have them coming out with. I also have them losing in the regular season to Oklahoma. But don't worry, Texas fans, I have you guys in the Big 12 championship playing Oklahoma again, and I see Texas winning that game ultimately, and that is big expectations. But when you look around at some of the offseason additions to this team, guys like Quinn Ewers, Jaleel Billingsley, Isaiah Neyor from Wyoming, sorry, that's a hard name to pronounce, sorry if I got that wrong. Agiye Hall, wide receiver from Alabama, was the number 5 wide receiver in his respective class. Ryan Watts, a lengthy DB, whether they play him at safety, whether they play him at corner, who knows, but he's a lengthy 6'2.5", almost 190, real lengthy guy. Wish Ohio State could have got him on the field a little bit more, but as a transfer corner out of Ohio State. They got Xavier Worthy coming back. They got one of the best, if not the best, running backs in college football coming back with Bijan Robinson, and of course Quinn Ewers, if I already didn't mention that. But it's just embarrassment of riches for Steve Sarkisian. He's a great offensive coach. We've seen it at Alabama, seen it at times at USC. He's an offensive-minded guy. Quinn Ewers is one of the most talented quarterbacks to come out of high school. He was one of the most talented recruits ever to come out of high school. Didn't really get to play too much at Ohio State. Came in for a few plays. Ended up transferring to his dream school, his home school, whatever you want to say, Texas. Jaleel Billingsley was very good in his early years at Alabama. Didn't really get on the field after Sark left. But Sark used him very good, and he was one of the best tight ends in the country with Steve Sarkisian. So I really like him in this offense. I think it'll be a big get for that offense. Great to have your young quarterback, having that safety net with Jaleel Billingsley. And then Xavier Worthy, of course, had a huge game in the Texas-Oklahoma game last year. Very big, stronger receiver, really good at high-pointing the ball, physical guy. I really like him out of this class. I actually don't think he is able to go pro after this season, but the next season after this, I believe he is. He's a very talented guy. Bijan Robinson, of course, probably wouldn't even have to play this year, and he'd be a draft pick. He's a great running back. Athleticism, size, speed, one-cut ability, whatever you want to say, he's got it all. We talked about Ryan Watts. He's a lengthy guy, good physical corner. He was a safety out of high school, the number 18 safety out of high school. We'll see where they put him. I look for him to have a very good breakout season. I will not be surprised if he has his name called here in a few years in the NFL draft. That guy has crazy potential, especially with his physical ability. Isaiah Neyor, like I said, hard last name if I'm pronouncing it wrong, sorry, was the number 20 transfer in the portal out of Wyoming. We'll see how much he's able to impact this team. I really like Agiye Hall out of Alabama, was the number 5, like I said, wide receiver out of his class. 6'3", 190 pounds, quick guy, tall. There was some speculation around his attitude issues, said he has a terrible attitude, I guess coaching problems. I don't know how true that is. We'll see when he gets there. I believe Sark was one of the coaches when he committed to Alabama, so maybe that's another reason he is headed to Texas. But like I said, I have them losing to Alabama and Oklahoma, so therefore I have them beating Baylor. I have them beating Oklahoma State. And like I said, I have them beating Oklahoma the second time around in the Big 12 championship. And that is very high expectations for this team. I know it is. And it might take a year or two for them to develop a guy like Quinn Ewers. It might take him a year or two. He's never played real meaningful football in college. But the expectations are high for him. And I like him in this offense with Steve Sarkisian. Steve Sarkisian is a great offensive mind. So we'll see how it plays out. The Alabama game it raises red flags for me, and I say that because everybody thinks Alabama is going to come in and roll over Texas. No ifs, ands, or buts. And by the way, Sorry, it's a noon game. Just kidding. I'm not sorry. Ohio State fans, you know the pain. Big Ten fans, you know the pain. Big noon kickoff sucks. We need to just get rid of it. Have games like this be a night game. It is what it is. But like I said, I think they're very competitive with Alabama. I think they have the offensive weapons to keep up, but ultimately in the end, I think it comes down to defense, and Alabama's defense is returning a lot of talent. They're more experienced, and they're just the overall better team. Alabama is one of the best teams in the country, without a doubt. So it's going to be a tough one for Texas for sure, but I think they make it interesting. I don't think they're just going to roll over Texas by any means. The Oklahoma game is intriguing for me too also. Big rivalry, of course. Now, I think it could go either way in the regular season, Oklahoma or Texas, but I do see them playing each other again. And this could really be Sarkisian's time. You see Lincoln Riley, he goes off to USC. Oklahoma's got Venables. He's a great coach. I've said it before. I like the Oklahoma team. But if you're Steve Sarkisian, you got to take advantage of this because Oklahoma has pretty much ran the Big 12 for the last 10 years almost. And Texas has not been back. You know, we say it every year. Will Texas be back? Will Texas be back? Texas is back. Texas this. Well, this year I think they have the most potential they have had in a couple years. I mean, you had Sam Ehlinger and those teams, but this team is stacked on the offensive side. Defense is somewhat there. They had some key losses last year, but ultimately I think Texas finishes with 2 losses on the season. I could see them making a New Year's 6. They will be going to the SEC here soon, and I really don't like that move for Texas as of right now. Maybe if they can keep recruiting at the level they are starting to get more and more recruits. I like that for Sark. NIL, whether you think kids are getting paid to go to these schools or not, you can't deny the fact that, an offensive lineman at Texas is getting paid this amount to be there for 4 years. And that's fine. It should be that way. These kids should get paid. There should be regulations, though, and I've mentioned that in videos before. But you guys let me know what you think. Like I said, I think this is a big year for Quinn Ewers. I think he lives up to the hype. I think Texas will shock a lot of people when it comes to this season. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you got any recommendations on any other videos. Let me know what you think about this Texas team, who you think will win this Big 12 conference, and so on. That being said, you guys have a nice day. Good afternoon.